Nigeria and its marketplace, empowering its people and the diaspora with everything they need. Together, we form a new tribe, creating opportunity and access to markets, driving reinvestments, fostering collaboration, and working to elevate and one another with proven solutions. A true revival in Africa is possible despite the challenges, though through intentional development that drives innovation, delivers mutual benefits, and inspires a culture of ownership for Africa and Africans. The time is now to unite, innovate, elevate with the Afropolitan Apostle Darlington Steve on the AfriOne Show, Voice of the New Tribe.
You are hearing me and you can see me. First and foremost, let me say my name is John Cena. So that for those of you who are WWE fans, it's just a clear indication that some technical issues has been battling. First and foremost, I think I was a bit late, and now we're about to start this. I think now I can see my as we go along. I want to really apologize. First and foremost, if you find out the frame is looking funny, and I'm hoping that the frame is fine out there, but from what we are seeing currently here, the frame is not fine. So the frame is not fine. Let me that we need to see. Okay, now this is really bad. It's really bad, guys. I'm trying to monitor what is going on here, but it's really, really bad. And that's because of the Internet of Things. I'm even looking at Echo's this thing because his Wi-Fi is also not even full. So you will pardon us as we try to try and see if we can switch network. This is why I feel like now calling the network provider that I am using currently. But I think our network issues in Nigeria. It is bad. It is bad. It is bad. So I'm literally using two different mobile data from two different network, e.g. MTN and Globalcom, because you guys know I don't know how to. I'm trying to be safe. Globalcom literally now and they are misbehaving on my side here, where the picture you are viewing there is bad, and I can say it because I can see it from Echo's phone is really bad. So you will pardon me, please, for today. So what's going to happen is we're going to do the show, but we have an alternative camera that is also recording. So what's going to happen is the fact that we are going to post the proper clips where you can then be able to save, download, or whatever you want to do. But between now and then, just permit me for us to be able to do this because time is literally not on our side, and I can see my countdown has already begun. So please and please, I deeply appreciate. I mean, sympathize with the Internet of Things. It's not something I can control. I don't know how we got that very particular point, but I just choose to believe that this network of a thing can be able to just solve our problems so that we all then be able to find a way of how Nigerian business when it comes to internet, please enter Nigeria. enter Nigeria. There is a lot of opportunity around entering Nigeria business side of things. I can tell you point blank, the opportunities are plenty when it comes to Nigeria business and entering the country. Family, I'm just hoping that you can, for every question you want to ask, please, you can use the number, like Echo said, he said my hand should be this side. You can use the number on this very particular screen for you to talk to us, and so that we can then engage quickly without wasting much of your time. Echo, please just let me check one more time. Everything is fine. The picture is fine. And everything is going good. Okay, now I can see that I look like a reasonably human being there now. At that very particular point, I look at somebody that they folded. And I don't know. But all right, family. I promise we are going to also publish the proper one that the team is going to edit and give to you out there so that you can then be able to have something of value. We are going to try to replace what we have now with that. So I'm only just going to appeal to all of you to please keep me updated if the of today's program has been titled From Idea to Impact. From idea to impact. And so I'm going to be a bit faster in my conversations today. So it's from idea to impact. And this is a thing here. Nigerian untapped markets, there's still a lot of Nigerian market that has not been tapped into. Been able to play around some certain space and also trying to benchmark between Nigerian markets and other countries that I have the opportunity and privilege of visiting. And I could see that for Nigeria, for instance, those of you who knows the big insecurity issues, you all know the big what you call crisis that is going on in Nigeria, the insecurity issue, the herdsmen, the Boko Haram, all of those things. Apart from that, there is still also a bit of a challenge when it comes to Nigerian ecosystem of things. And so today we want to look into a strategic guide for innovators, entrepreneurs, and diasporal investors on how to be able to break into the Nigerian market of things, because the Nigerian market is a complicated market. I can tell you point blank. This is a land of, I use the word, a land of contradiction. Nigeria has a lot of contradictions that you must be able to factor in as you begin to plan into entering into the Nigerian market of things. We have endless potential, but underutilized capacity. We have rich resources, but poor system. We have brilliant people, but limited structure. So to succeed in Nigerian untapped market, you must combine insight, innovation, resilience, and also plus international best practices. So which means for an average Nigeria, I can tell you, point blank, we're very insightful people. One thing I can say with Nigeria, we are resilient people. And sometimes we can be resilient in the wrong place, which is where the problem also begin to emanate from. But at the same time, also for you to be able to enter into Nigerian untapped markets, and this is something that I believe that is going to be of a good eye-opening for a lot of investors who wants to come into Nigeria to do business, and also for Nigerians who literally want to start a business themselves so that they don't then begin to feel as if there is nothing for them. So I'm going to be giving the sections I'm going to be looking into. If I can't finish it today, it's okay. I just want to take my time to talk and not to preach or probably to do a show. I just want to talk today. So we are going to be looking at about 4 or 5 sections in this very particular what you call note that I have for today, so that it's easier. So number one session we are going to be looking into, we're going to be looking at what I've titled Understanding Nigerian Untapped Markets, which means ability for you to recognize 7 major opportunities that is available in Nigeria, 7 major opportunities for diaspora people. Number 2 side of things we're going to be looking is the ability for the idea to impact framework. How does your idea going to impact? Number 3 session we're also going to be looking into is the fact that we're going to be looking into what I've titled Positioning for Success, how Nigerians should prepare, because there's a way Nigerians should prepare. And I think also this positioning for success, it's part of the things that I am currently doing now in Nigeria. I can tell you point blank, positioning myself. I think the other day, a few days ago, I was just showing Echo and some of my few friends about some certain things that I'm trying to dabble into. That's why I need to get to the point where we just have to position ourselves for success. Otherwise, the market is not a stable market. The thing just fluctuates. The thing fluctuates ups and down. And so you just have to find a way. The number 4 is the fact that we're going to be looking into migration and diasporal angle, which is the international perspective of things. And number 5, hopefully I'll be able to do this number 5, which is a 10-point action plan you must be able to execute. So with that being said, quickly, let's go straight into the first one. section number one, understanding untapped market. And so we need to look at 6 or 7 major markets that is currently untapped in Nigeria. And these are things that personally for myself, I've seen the opportunities, and I'm also trying to find my way into those very particular space. And I'm hoping that also you will join me in finding your way also into those very particular space. Number one is the fact that we have your digital trade and your e-commerce logistics. Your e-commerce logistics in Nigeria, there's still a lot of opportunity. At least currently now with my research I have done, that market is only catering currently now for 20 plus million people. Now, 20 plus million people, even at 20 plus million people, especially on the e-commerce and digital trade side. And yet Nigeria literally have over 220 million. So there's a 200 million people that market is literally not touching. So the question there is the fact that you have to ask yourself, if this opportunity is available on the digital side, what do I need to do to penetrate? Now, you must also understand that the average Nigeria, for instance, we have a phone which we call Tilili. I don't know what they call Tilili in this country, but those phones over there are like your burner phones. So, but whether I would like it or not, and that is exactly what the Kenyans guys, when it comes to digitalization, they did by incorporating M-Pesa using those Tilili phones. They were smart enough to say, okay, fine, we have a lot of people who are still using Tilili. Not everybody uses smartphones. Some people are still using your, I don't know if Nokia 3310 is still around, but at far back as that kind of phone that can last in terms of battery, that can be able to use at night for you to on torchlight. And also, I think with one of the guys around my spot, I want to mention his name for security reasons and just to protect. And sometimes when I see him, I laugh. He carries the Tilili and put it in his ear because he wants to listen to a radio that is on tap on the digital and trade commerce industry. Number two, the agri value chain and food processing. You see this one? According to research, over 65% of Nigerian food goes to waste. 65%. I think I have brought in 2 different professionals who are playing on the food side. 65% of Nigerian food, which means from the farmers to the market, over 65% of that food goes to waste. And that begins to make you understand why the things in the market are expensive. That is number one. So we must also be looking into the place of agricultural value chain and also food processing. How do we process our food? Do we have systems and structures or terminals or warehouses? I feel like talking like the Bible days, the likes of Joseph in the Bible, where he was able to preserve food for another 7 years when the famine was there. Do we have those very particular processing plants? I can tell you point blank, it's minimal. That thing literally, those plants, according to what I gathered, it can literally feed 50 million people. It can't. In fact, it's predominantly currently settled within the northern part of Nigeria. Other regions are still struggling in terms. And so even the warehouse for processing food and also preservation of food to Nigeria to check into the untapped market, you may want to consider going into the food processing agriculture. The big one, which is currently now the crude oil of Nigeria, which is affordable housing and property tech. Affordable housing. The houses in Nigeria are very expensive. I can tell you point blank from the pocket of the average minimum salary in Nigeria. I've come to understand the minimum salary on paper is supposed to be 70,000 naira, but they said on reality is 30,000 naira. Now, a lot of people are literally squatting. There is a lot of bacha kind of houses. In South Africa, we call it shacks. There's a lot of bacha kind of houses and shacks that state guy. You are building house for people to be able to come by 20 million, 50 million, 100 million, 500 million. In fact, I think somebody showed me a property that is going for 1 trillion naira. I almost wanted to like what, which planet? They say this is in Nigeria, that is in Abuja here. I say here. Whatever. But guess what? The market for you to be able to constantly build, and please, realtors, developers, that's the name I'm looking for. Estate developers all for the 1% of the 1%. Produce a house for the masses. Produce houses for the masses. And when I'm saying produce houses from this, I'm not saying now they're reducing quality or probably the ability for you to pay attention to details because you know you are staying in a good house. And so if I'm going to produce house for the masses, the thing will be lack of standard and all of those things. So I'm begging you, let's come down into affordable houses. And I think that's one of the things I cherish about Charlotte Prime Homes as the thing when it comes to your land buying. They've been able to look at, I think the other day we were talking and she said something that I think we were driving and she said something that was very interesting. She said the reason why she makes sure that all her properties, I mean, her landing doesn't go beyond what you call 1 million naira is because she knows that the house land buying in Nigeria is expensive. So because of that, she has this long-term land banking stuff whereby you can buy a land for a particular amount, and after some few years down the line, that land can grow to become a value land. And before you know what is going on, that very particular land literally can appreciate to the point where you can then also either sell or then build. So that's what we're talking, affordable housing. So for those of you who are interested in literally what you call getting a land with Charlotte Prime Homes, also Ethan Good Estate, you can use the number that is currently beneath my name. You can call and we will try as much as possible to connect you to Charlotte Prime Homes for affordable housing and also land buying. Number 4, another thing also that is lacking in Nigeria, which is an untapped market, is diasporal investment platform. I'm a diaspora. I promise you, I am a full-blown diaspora. Somebody has called me the president of diaspora. That's it. I don't know how that came into the picture, but this is where the thing becomes interesting. While I was outside of the country, I was looking for investment platform that we diaspora guys can literally be on for us to be able to see our investment going, but we couldn't find anything. I promise you, I personally, I couldn't find. Yes, I have attended few events. I think I'll say 2 or 3 in Nigeria at the moment, where when I sit at a very particular event, I can tell you point blank, without any doubt, I couldn't find any platform in that event. We just go there, talk about Africa of things, but we are not seeing where is the investment portal? How do people participate? It's crazy. And I think one of the guys was saying to me when I was talking, say, Darlington, you're a diaspora guy. You've lived almost half of your life in that very particular region and stuff. Why don't you come up with a plan and a project whereby you know our pain, put the system on ground, and so that, and I promise you, I'm working on that part. So I want to encourage you, pray for me, so that can be the creative economy, which means your film, your fashion, your gaming, your content, and all of those things, like what I'm doing now with the content. Nigerians are high consumers of content. You know, it's quite crazy where sometimes when I think about it, internet is expensive in Nigeria, but for strange reason, an average Nigeria consume internet product. I don't understand how they do. That's why I say Nigerian market it's crazy. Even me, I promise you, most times I get shocked. You will see, pardon me to even use this, okay, let me not use her name, but no, it's okay. Her film is there, Omonde Oboli. You will see her produce a movie of 3 hours, and people have watched the 3 hours movie. Me, just by looking at the 3 hours first, I can't press play. That will make you understand. And it's over currently, if I'm not mistaken, over 5 million people has viewed. And you now think, and you're like, which data do you guys use to watch that thing? Because why? It's still shocking. So which means the creative industry, there's still a lot of space. The Netflix of things, they are currently milking money out of Nigeria. A lot of people are shifting into YouTube production in terms of film. For example, even this very particular product that you're watching is currently now streaming on YouTube, or you're watching from YouTube and all of the platform that is available. So you must also be looking to the creative industry. There's a lot of money to make there. And also the one I love so much, which I actually wanted to do, and I'm still trying to get investors, recycling business. If you're listening to me and you are interested in the recycling business, I can tell you, public, it's a money-making machine in Nigeria. When I mean you can make money daily from recycling business. Nigeria at the moment, an average place is almost full of dump, especially even if you now open your recycling business in Lagos. That's interesting. You know why? An average corner in Lagos is dirty. And you now be able to create a full ecosystem, and God give you the grace of Dangote, where you own the manufacturing plant, then you own the supply chain of things. You are good. You are good. So the renewable energy and also solar infrastructure. Nigeria, we struggle with NEPA. That's the name we call it, NEPA. We call it ESCOM. We struggle with electricity. I can tell you point blank. And even the band A, they call it. A lot of people still experience low shedding in the band A. They will tell you band A is 24 hours, but I still have 2 hours off. But now the problem with band A is the fact that you pay times 10 of what others are paying. So which means we still have electricity issues in Nigeria. Federal government, you guys know how to solve this problem, but I choose to believe that you don't want to solve it because you know that you are benefiting from the importation of all of these dramas that is in ground. And also finally, the ability also for us to begin to look at number 7, waste to wealth, material, transportation, tech, and also AI education. With that being said, now let's look at the ability for you now to begin to change your ideas to impact. How then do we do it? Is the fact that number 1 here is you need to study the Nigerian market pain point. You see, if there's anything I can talk, mark that statement, pain point. An average Nigeria is going through a pain. I'll say it again. An average Nigeria, if not all Nigerians, we are all going through some certain level of pain. So for you to be able to turn your ideas into impact, you must be able to tell yourself, what is the pain that Nigerians are going through? What is broken? What are the Nigerians complaining about? Where is the money leaking? Let me tell you, every industry has a place where the money is leaking. So it's your responsibility for you to find where is the money leaking. I can tell you point blank on the property side of things where the money is leaking. I can tell you point blank even in the internet of things where the money is leaking. I can tell you in recycling where the money is leaking. So there is always where the money is leaking. And also what is unnecessary, slow, expensive, and inefficient. So you must be able to study the market. And hear me, let me say this, every business owners, especially those of us who are startups. You do not need to pursue your idea if your idea at the moment does not have at least 1 million people you think that can buy your product. You do, especially if remember, we're talking from idea to impact. I'm not talking idea to survivor. It's idea to impact. Before you now feel as if, okay, that very plantain chips you're doing, are you saying that the business is not going to work? No, I'm not saying that. Maybe chances are you're supplying 100 people. That's fine. It's okay. That's where your limit is and stuff. But if you want to pursue ideas that is going to take you to the place of impact, you must be able to get to the point where you must be able to see what are the things that are inefficient that is in the market that you can make it efficient. And you must remove your emotions from the product that you're currently doing. I was speaking to someone of recent, and what the thing we were saying, and she was making me to understand. They said, see, if what you know that is, that's the name she used, say quickly pivot, because I don't have time for me to play. She said the point blank, she said, no, quickly pivot and stuff. If you know that it is film that is ready in Nigeria, then do films. If you know that it's skit, do skits. Because I think she was honest enough. She went on my social media platform. She said, your talk about diaspora issues while you were in South Africa was literally booming, but your talk about diaspora issue in Nigeria is not booming. So which means Nigeria literally want to jackpot. The diaspora guys that are in Nigeria, literally, they are quiet because they have blended into the system where Echo can wake up tomorrow and make me understand that he's a Kenyan. And I may not know because why? His face has adjusted to be in Nigeria. We don't have all the Operation Dudula problem that is in South Africa. We don't have the migrant issue that is in some of these African countries. Everything blends into the system. I can tell you point blank, I have not seen, maybe somebody will tell me right now. You can tell me on the comment section. I have not seen any protest by Nigerians over foreigners living in the country. I've not seen that, okay, because it's not in his head. I have not seen. But I bet you check other African country, you'll find that. So content on those regions around diaspora issues will sell. But you try to do that content in Nigeria, it won't sell because why? Our problem is T-Pen. Our problem is T-Pen. That's what the issue is. Our problem is the economy. And so we must get to the point whereby if you want to start a business, and this is where I'm coming from, an idea that will impact your generation, remove the fact that you want to sell popcorn. If popcorn is your passion, how many people need popcorn? If the numbers are not many, then begin to go on the street, check. What is the pinpoint? See, I bet you if you go out after the show is over and you pinpoint 10 people in your street as to what is the problem you are currently going through right now, you actually have a business. By the time 10 talk to you, I bet you from that 10, you will see one thing that you can do that you address those very particular people's pain point. You will. For instance, we have a high level of insecurity. My question I ask a lot of people is how many people are doing security business in Nigeria? It's those bouncers. Each estate supposed to be able to, and some estate don't say when you go there, you see some you are like, I don't understand what you are doing. In fact, many of the security, that's why the military or the force sector in Nigeria, it's been overstretched. Because you literally see some estates, military that is guiding them, like, but that's not their job. A private company is private individual is supposed to open a private company where all of this, literally in South Africa, we have 10,000 security company that has employed over more than 20 million of the people to serve a 62 million population in that country. Do you see? If you look at that benchmark and bring that to Nigeria, literally, I bet you all this issue of unemployment would have shrinked it. We would have shrinked it. The problem also is the fact that the licensing of things becomes very, very crazy. Nigeria, where we have your likes of Boko Haram, jihadists, and all of these things. Currently, now I was looking at the particular statistics. These guys have moved into 20 states. in Nigeria. You can come up with a system of security to protect your community and literally benchmark a money out of it, because why? Security is a pain point in Nigeria. Food processing is a pain point. The ability for product to get from one place to the other in a very fast place is a problem in Nigeria. Let me even say this. The issue of even clearing house and clearing gutters, it's a pain point. Lagos. The other day I went to Lagos. The moment I land the airport, the way that state smells, I'm sorry, I'll say point blank without apology to anybody. But president, is it president or governor Fashola, do something. Lagos is smelling. The moment you land the airport, there is this stench that comes into your nose. Now, that's a pain point. And the people are used to it. And when you actually talked about it, I know, why is Lagos smelling? They're like, that's the thing we've been copying. We don't even know what to do. That's a business. That's a business. So which means, on number one, study the market pain point. Don't just produce a product. Study the market pain point. You must be able to study. Whether you want to go into digital stuff, you want to go into agric, diasporal investment, creative opportunity, whatever of those very particular 7 opportunities I've been able to bring on the table, go to the market, study it. Check the people. What is the thing that you guys are actually going through? Now, that leads me to my session number 2, which means the idea to impact framework. The idea to impact framework. And this is on the 7 different points I'm going to be bringing on the table. Because now your ideas or the pain points, I think for today, let me use the word the pain point. I think I should even rephrase this stuff from pain point to impact. Because if I say idea now, you're like, okay, idea is to sew cloth. But the ability now, for those of you who are writing or those of you who are jotting, so you can change it now from pain points to impact. If you notice, I didn't say from pain point to idea to survivor. It's impact. Something you can do that can transcend. Particular session, we're going to be looking at market. Conduct field research and not just Google research. Many of us literally we conduct field. See, Nigerian market is complicated though. I can tell you point blank. Nigerian market is complicated. We are currently building a particular product, and I promise you, while I was flying in and out and stuff, I never thought of the pain point. It was that bad. Not until I literally find myself inside. My younger brother forced me to experience this thing called BRT at Lagos. And the guys were complaining about property. I was shocked. But guess what? You go on Google to search that, it's not there. That's why this very particular market research you need to do, you must be able to conduct field research. Don't just sit at home. In your field research, check with 100, minimum 50 people. This thing I want to do, this idea that I have, or this pain point that I want to produce, let the people go to the market, check the field and say, okay, this thing, how is it going to operate? And that is why, for example, one of the things I've seen also with tech being produced in Nigeria, which is also another thing, is the fact that the producers of the tech, they sit in their white-collar office trying to produce something that somebody in the mainland or somebody in Maraba is actually going through, which they don't have an experience. Because why? They just feel that because Maraba has 7 million people, for instance, I'm not saying that's a number, out of the something there is a market there. You can be so shocked that, yes, you want to do that idea, and the Maraba literally is just 7 people that will buy it and not 7 million. Because why? You have not gone to the field for you to be able to conduct field research, which means your ability for you to talk to real people in the market. Go to communities. Like the estate where I stay, literally, I can tell you point blank, I have engaged different kind of people. I don't want to mention the estate where I stay. I've engaged different kind of people. Most times when I go for my walking and co, I just see people, I just stop there, we just talk. Because why? I want to understand the product I'm trying to create. If I bring it to this very particular estate, will it work? Will it not work? So that if I have to kill the idea now, let me kill it. So that I don't go and invest a lot of money. Then tomorrow I'm now saying Nigeria is not ready for business. No, Nigeria is ready for innovation, ready for ideas, ready for pain points to be solved. But you must understand that Nigerian market does not answer to you sitting on Google or doing a spreadsheet. Doesn't answer. Spreadsheet with Nigeria, it does not answer. Family, hear me. It doesn't answer. You must also, in your market research, you must also go and ask, what is the problem that keeps you awake? I promise you, if you sit down with ECHO and even the staffs currently now that is on this very particular organization, and we ask them what's the problem that keep you awake, as much as every one of us, our faces are different, you will hear that each of them, their problems are literally different. Because why? And those problems, it's unique to them. Your point in that part is the fact that you must be able to see a way of creating solution. You must be able to find a way of creating solution, which means you must look out for gaps that no one has seen. You must look out for gaps everyone sees but ignore. And you also must also look out for gaps painful for people to keep tolerating. I'll repeat this statement again. Look out for gaps that no one is seeing. Number two, look out for gaps that everyone is seeing, but they ignore it. Number three, look out for gaps too painful for people to keep tolerating. If you have this very particular part, I promise you, you have hit a gold mine. You have hit a good mine. So notice number two, in doing this very particular one, apart from the gap side, you must validate your idea. How do you validate your idea? Is the fact that build a quick prototype or a minimum service. I think for security reasons, that's the statement from Victor has been in my, for security reasons, some things are better left unsaid. There's some certain things that I've been able to send out to some certain folks and stuff in terms of just testing the particular stuff that we are trying to build and all of those things. But guess what? When we're doing that stuff, and I remember, I think one of the guys asked me about something, I don't want to mention the name that he was talking about. And I said, no, we actually have those very particular things in play, but we just want to test to see how easy this very particular thing is. So that if I need to kill that idea now, I kill it. So which means be quick to build a prototype or minimum service and test that very particular thing with at least 20 to 50 people. Test your ideas. Some of you literally produce product without no market taste for it. And now you are complaining that people are not buying your product because why? Nobody have tasted that very particular product. You didn't do your research to ask, okay, if I'm going to produce a caramel sweet, is it that the people literally want caramel sweet or they want strawberry sweet? If you produce the caramel sweet and you give it to them and they taste it, do you collect feedback and say, okay, do you reduce the caramel? Why don't you mix it with vanilla or try to get a strawberry or try to get a bubble, whatever? See, market literally has a way of giving you a brutal feedback. They have a way of giving you a brutal feedback. And when you get the feedback, do me a favor, adjust very fast. Adjust very fast. Who would have believed that this man, what's it called? Oh my God. I'm seeing his name, but the name is not coming from my mouth. Dangote. Mr. Aliko Dangote. Who would have believed 20 years ago that Mr. Aliko Dangote would diversify into petroleum? Who would have believed that even what's it called, Mr. Femi Otedola, who was playing in the distribution side of the diesel of petroleum, will go into energy? Because why? They get to the point whereby after they have done their research, these guys spend money. I think I was reading his book and I discovered that there is a particular research Mr. Femi Otedola did that cost him 200 million naira. I see, yeah. For somebody that you'd be like, that's somebody like literally a research for, they were doing research-based stuff for 200 million naira just to get a feedback. I had 200 million or 200 million naira or dollars, but I know it was 200 million because I marked it in my book. And I think it's dollars because I marked it in my book. Then I was calculating that thing in rand, then convert it to naira. I stopped that chapter immediately. I'm like, Jesus. So people, that's why they are succeeding. You would think these men that are rich doing business, you think that they get their back. They are not lucky. They are not lucky. So which means when you validate your idea on point number two is the fact that you are looking for customers who are willing to pay, not just praise your product. In you validating your idea, you're looking for customers who are willing to pay for that product and not just praise it. Haven't you seen somebody will tell you, I know that's a powerful idea, they praise you, but they never buy your product from you, or they never use your service. It's because that very particular service you're producing to them at that very particular moment, they're not willing to pay. Why then continue? Stop it. There are some of you right now, if you are honest to yourself, your business has swallowed more capital than what you are expecting to get out of it. And I'm not saying that it's because that the market is not fit for you. I mean, whatever and co. You know, all of those excuses you want to create that you don't have real buyers and stuff. If you don't have the real buyers to buy your product for tomorrow, for your product for now, and you are projecting that the buyers will come in tomorrow, why don't you look for products and services to render, including your pain point for now, while you begin to diversify and also find a way of pivoting and getting the client you're looking for tomorrow? You have to be able to do that. Mr. Aliko Dangote, literally, when he started his rice and cement business, chances are he knows that at the end of the day, he wants to retire in the petroleum business side of things. He was quiet, but he was focused on the urgent 2K. Buy noodles, buy petrol, buy noodles, buy cement, buy sugar. I think he has rice, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever. All of those very particular things. He was just there playing in his field. Number three, quickly. You must structure for success, which means your ability for you to have a business model architecture, which means you must build clear revenue model. You see this building clear revenue model. It's one of the gaps that is currently in Nigeria here, where, and I've said this on several of my show, Nigeria needs to get to the point where you begin to put your product on how it becomes a subscription-based product. You must find a way of doing your business in a subscription-based product. I remember I was sitting with one of the therapists who came to visit me, I think when I was taking on Monday or Tuesday, and we were just talking and stuff, and I think he was complaining about some certain things, and I said to him, I said, see, how much do you charge on this very particular service? I can't remember if he gave me a figure. No, I think I gave him a rough figure. I said, let's say you charge X. Let me put a number. Let's say you charge 10,000 naira for this very particular thing for one person. I said, do you know that literally you can do a subscription base whereby instead of the person paying 10,000, the person pay you monthly 5,000 naira every month. In 2 months, you've covered. In the 5,000 naira, you actually put a tier to say, okay, for 5,000, you get this. For 10,000, you get this service, and let it be a monthly subscription-based stuff. Now, this is the thing that people don't understand about subscription. Please hear me. It is not every time that person will call you for that service. Whether the person call you or not, that amount that you have fixed, the person is mandated to pay. Let's be honest. Those of you who, okay, I don't want to say everybody, but there are majority of you whereby you are paying your subscription for Netflix. And I can tell you point blank, some certain month, you literally do not open your Netflix. You don't open them. You don't. Some of you literally, you only open your Netflix. I'm number one. I only open my Netflix when I see that they have debited me. I'm like, what the hell? Then I'm like, okay, look on something to watch. Let me not feel bad about it. But guess every month they watch 250 rand. Every month. Whether I watch or I don't watch. But guess what? Whether you watch 1 million content on Netflix, 250 rand. Whether you watch one, it's still 250 rand. Why don't you build a clear revenue model that seek to see that very particular point of things? You must be able to do that, which means know your niche and who need you first. Not the people that you are looking to get tomorrow. Who need you first? Most Nigerian businesses right now, you are looking for the tomorrow market. For me, I'm looking for the today market. That's why, for instance, all of the things that we're doing currently now is to begin to build for the today. I know a lot of you guys literally who have reached out to me, and some of you have asked me on a private call, sometimes it's online of things kind of call, we talk, because why? I'm targeting your new now. I'm not looking for the tomorrow. Oh, the tomorrow, oh yes, will come when I get to tomorrow. But for now, it's today. That's why Nigeria have this statement called the urgent 2K. Sometimes me, I've rephrased my statement, it's urgent 10 million. Because if you can get urgent 2K, why don't you increase your target to make it urgent 10 million? So which means ensure that your solution can scale beyond one location. Remember, we're talking about structure for business success. You must ensure that your solution can scale beyond one location. Please remember, the title of my talk is Idea Stroke Pinpoint for Impact. Idea stroke pinpoint to impact. So I'm not talking about idea pinpoint to survivor. Nigeria, we need to start thinking about impact. We need to start thinking about impact. And hear me, Nigeria still have a lot of untapped market. So which means as you do this, don't build a Nigerian business with foreign model. Adopt global idea, but localize for culture, infrastructure, and purchasing power. I'll explain that. Many of the business, and that is why, for example, in Nigeria for now, and even myself too also, I am trying to see a way, especially on the funding side of things, where I am a bit quiet about it at the moment now, is because I have sat down to discover that you will see a Nigerian, for lack of better word, somebody who come out from university tell you that I studied business admin, but the person literally cannot do a business plan that is literally 3 years business plan. And instead of me complaining, I'm looking at it. I hear your ideas, but the Western culture says come up with 3 years business plan, be able to give me some market potential. I think I remember Echo once said to me that I should do the video about it and all of those things. The reason why, this is the first time I'm Echo be hearing the reason why I have not sat down to do that very particular thing is because in my head, even though we do that, does it answer to the Nigerian market? Because that business plan stuff fits South Africa, it doesn't fit Nigeria. Because why? Nigeria is not equipped for such. It is not equipped because why? The average Nigerian idea is survivor. So how then do I incorporate? Because now I'm building a blueprint that I want to, pray for me, that I want to use as a benchmark in getting funding and supply for Nigerians. Because why? You can't tell a Nigerian to give you a 5 years business plan and all of those things. About they will crash. They will crash. Especially people who are coming up with payments and ideas. That's why you see fintech. For example, look at the fintech space of things. With over 200 million people, the only major fintech organization in Nigeria is your Paystack and Flutterwave. Really? In that space, literally, the minimum guys that should be playing in that space of fintech should be at least 10,000. Do any payment gateway now? The first two names that comes to your heart: Paystack, Flutterwave. That's the two. And that's why they are bamboozling you. Because why? They know that they are market dominance. The smaller guys, they are not even there. You don't even know where to find them. That's the funny thing. Which means there's a lot of people that are not playing on the fintech side. And guess what? Those guys have ridiculous, both Paystack and Flutterwave. I'm sorry, I'll call you guys' name. They have ridiculous document. They ask for a startup of a business person. Because why? They are bringing in a westernized solution for a Nigerian market that does not fit into that very particular stuff. They don't. Paystack and Flutterwave, hear me, I'm looking at you guys. Look at the Nigerian markets and adopt your business model to fit Nigeria and not just be throwing something up there because your funding now is coming from the West. And the West now, I think I remember even saying that to Flutterwave. I said that to her. I'm not apologetic about it. I have emails. If you want to come, I can. Don't provoke me to send my emails out. And I said to this very particular guy, I said, see, when you guys started your Flutterwave business, you guys were for Nigerians. Now that you are now on series, whatever funding opportunity that is in your company, you are now demanding something from us, making it to look as if the average Nigerian is the criminal. Whereas when you started, that was the same model. And I remember saying to one of them, I said, my account that I have with you guys for over, if I'm not mistaken, over 12 years ago and stuff. Ridiculous document and all of this thing. Guess what? Even the guy that I was doing the meeting with could not give me an answer. It was a lady who was brave enough. He said, no, we have. She just made me understand. We have a foreign influence in our company. That was all she said. Don't ask me who the lady is. I won't mention her name. She said we have a foreign influence in our company. And so because of that, we are adapting the Nigerian Flutterwave to suit the Western guys who is investing into the Flutterwave. Same thing also apply with Paystack. Don't you see that the guys who founded Flutterwave, they've all retired? Because one of them is the guy doing Jobberman now. The original owners of Flutterwave, they've left. The one of them, you can go there, click Jobberman. The founder of Jobberman is the guy who founded Flutterwave. Because why? Majority of influence have come into the picture, and that's how when you discover pain points and idea and you begin to impact, you will get guys who will come and trouble you. I will never forget a particular content statement Pastor Koju of Covenant Nation said. He said, when you are busy selling your Zobo and people are buying 100, 200 and co, say you are fine. You don't have any market competition. He says, wait, when that Zobo, you now grow the Zobo and you now do a logo and big cars are now packing to come and drink your Zobo and all of those things. Then the next minute you are now supplying to this. He said, that's when you have entered marketplace. He said, because why? Somebody would be looking and say, this is your cold freeze Zobo. Can we invest in it? He said, it is not you saying you don't, they want to invest in it. And it's either you accept their investment, and if you turn it down, this is what will happen. They come next door to you and build their own frozen Zobo. God help you. They have budget to what you call jeopardize your own Zobo so that people then begin to drink their own Zobo. Now, welcome to marketplace. And that's exactly how marketplace is. Some of you say I'm in business. If you don't have somebody who is threatening in that business, you're not in business yet too. Go and ask Mr. Luko Dangote and Femi Today. You will know that's what we call business. Where you sit down and somebody is dangling $1 billion to say, we want to buy into your business. And you saying no, it's a problem. Because you know, they have the money. You know, one of the things with these big organizations and stuff, they have money, but they have money to frustrate your business. There's a budget for it. It's called the frustration business, the frustration money. I remember a friend of mine, let's say, permit me not to mention his name. So they have a business they're doing currently in Nigeria. So I was asking them, I said, did they enter into the Nigerian market and cool? You know what make me laugh? Cool. The guy was like, no, we have a lot of budget and stuff, but this is the thing that's interesting. So we have a budget called Budget B. I said, what is Budget B, sir? Guess what? Their Budget B was ×2 of the original money of investment they want to do. So because no, we understand that Nigeria, if you want to get things done, you have to just throw those things. I said, yeah. He told me March last year. Yeah. March last. No, this is March. No. I lie. August last year, because I was having a meeting with him. August, yeah. He said, no, we have a budget B. And let's even be honest, you and I know too well that in our institution, if you want to get something fast, if you don't do budget B, you won't get it. Let's be honest. Let's even look at our CAC. I think it's whatever CAC where you register company. I hope I'm right with that. Now let's look at our CAC. You can literally go on the database for you to want to register your company and give it to an agent. In fact, that agent also will charge you because he needs to give it to somebody inside that when he films online, the person inside needs to apply. Woo! Budget B is very big in Nigeria. So foreign investors, diaspora investors, Nigerians, if you want to do, create a budget B. As funny as that sound, I know that you will say, okay, but in your Afropolitans and apostle, why are you sounding like that? Yeah, I will sound like that. Let's call it this. If Jesus said in the Bible, give them their budget B. Otherwise, they have the grace to keep you down. So which means as much as you adapt your idea, please also, as you try to position your idea globally, adapt it for local. Adapt it for local. Then number four is navigate the Nigerian ecosystem, which means number one, factor in the infrastructure gap. I was saying to Echo that when I was preparing my notes, with the stress we're going through, this is part of a thing. There's an infrastructure gap in Nigeria. One of them is internet and power. You see, internet, power, road, these three things. I enjoy nice road. I don't want to mention my area for security reasons. I enjoy nice roads to a particular area in my location I stay. From that place to my estate, I say is the gallop on the So you must factor in the infrastructure gap. Big one, power, internet, road. For instance, as popular as Gariki currently now, where this office is, we're currently operating for, there is no fiber line that is here in Gariki. Literally no fiber line. I'm telling you point blank, let the telecommunication industry come and show me which fiber line that is in Gariki. And Gariki is one of the highbrow area as far as Abuja is concerned. It may not be the top one, because top one you can think of your Maitama, your Asokoro, your Guzape, what's it called? All of those sides. They are your highbrow area. Gariki fall within the top 10, and yet there is no fiber connectivity within the Gariki location of things. Internet. The reason why, number one, we delayed a bit in starting this very particular thing. I was changing from MTN to Glo to MTN. I literally have my two phones, internet had to be on to make sure that in case if the network on this one goes low, this one can pick up and stop. I was doing all of that. Because why? I'm beginning to factor in Nigerian gap. So which means you must build alternative pathway so your business doesn't die in frustration. The reason why many investors are leaving Nigeria is this gap. I was told of ShopRite that ShopRite literally over 50% of their money profit goes into diesels and all of those very particular. It was painful. They were like, why? Why? Sometimes it is only in network. For example, your MTN. It is only MTN, Globalcom, and all of these mobile service that produces internet that you will go to their office for internet and they will tell you in their office that there is no internet. I'll repeat it again, because you know the madness we are going through. You go to an IT person who is producing internet. Their job is to give us internet. You go to their office to do something, they tell you no internet. It's like going to somebody who sells egg. You are seeing the chicken, seeing everything, and they tell you no egg. Like, why? Create something for the egg, for the chickens to be bringing eggs now. Because I shouldn't come into your office as a manufacturer of that product, and yet you don't have it in the table. Like, why? Like, you're not in business. That's why even with the telecommunication and internet of things, there's still a lot of gaps there. There's still gaps. Which means you must understand the state-by-state difference. Nigeria is not a one market. It is a 36 market. When I write down one part, I was writing this when I was laughing. See, Nigeria is not a one market. Do you know why I say it's not a one market? I will explain. Whatever system works in Abuja, I swear, don't carry it to Port Harcourt. You may fail. Whatever system works in Port Harcourt, don't deploy it in Lagos. Whatever works in Lagos, don't deploy it in Cross River State or carry it to KB. Especially if you want to even play on the northern side of things. You have to factor in insurgency also. You have to factor it. Because each region comes with its own. So Nigeria is not a one market system. Nigeria is a 36 market system. And your big thing for you to do is the fact that you must look for people on the ground. See, hear me. Let me say this because I'm going to mention it on my point. 70% where you operate from. 70% of your workforce. Because if not so, you'll be out of business. I'm busy telling you the truth of what is happening in Nigeria. That's me. I don't filter. If 70% of some certain things I am adjusting currently in the business that I'm trying to do in Nigeria, I bet you I'm hearing it from my staffs and from the people that I work with. The other day, I remember, I don't want to mention their name, where somebody was telling me that they have to go on what you call switch electricity. And I think, are you? And as I was saying it, I promise I was quiet in my spirit. I was like, well, that's a problem. If this thing spark you and you disappear, what will happen? But guess what? They are used to it. If I meet shock, they were shocked that I am shocked. Because to them, it's normal. It's normal. So you must understand that every place, if your staff or the people that you have around your team working with you are touching that very particular product, if they are not of 70% who understands the people, understands the gap, there's a product we are trying to do currently now. I make sure that I meet people who understand, because I don't understand Nigeria that much. I don't, to be honest. Because I still have, in my brain, I still have a coconut brain, which is I'm thinking like a white person. Because that's a system I came out from. So which means you must be able to look for regulation bottleneck, unofficial market players. Hear me, there are, especially when you want to do some certain business in Nigeria, you must deal with thugs. Because thugs are the one that owns that very particular place and all of these places that they are mining all of these things. Do you know that it's not even the legalized security agents that are protecting those mines? It is the same banditries that they're using them to protect our security agents. Is going to be a war. So they give it to bandits. So the same bandits that is causing mayhem out there, some of them are literally protecting the people. And you wonder why bandits, they have drones. Where do you think they get it from? Because some of these players, literally, who are trying to do business in Nigeria, they've understand the market. Somebody was saying, though, why will these guys be supporting? I say, Baba, they are business owners. They are protecting their business. And in protecting that very particular business, they are trying everything possible to use unofficial means to also protect their business. Because why? The country permits it. You must also be able to look for competition from informal sector and also money movement restriction. There is money movement. Number 5, remember that at this very particular sector, because I'm on sector number 2, and the sector number 2, I'm talking about idea to impact framework. So on number 5 currently, you must be able to build trust and credibility, which is your biggest currency. Trust and credibility. That's why for me, one of the things, if you notice for some of you guys who follow us on radio, the reason why I went quiet about the whole 50,000 naira of things, by God's grace, not because of cash and all of those things. Because I remember there was a time Charlotte was asking, okay, how much do we owe and all of those very particular things and co. I just kept quiet because in my mind, I'm like, the things we're looking for, I'm trying to quickly adjust. In the words of my friend, I'm trying to pivot. Because why? I don't want to just be pouring money and the next minute I'm not seeing. And I think I was saying to Eko, and somehow, let me say this currently now live here. Somehow one day you may just see me in your market, literally. You may just see me in your market, literally meeting the guys on the ground to ask them, how are you doing your business? What is the gap in your business? Blah, blah, blah. And if I told us to give you 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira, which is our max that we do without no return on investment, we'll do it because why? I want the thing to literally affect the people, because you also need to understand that from us also, there is a lot of expense that needs to go through in producing that bread. So why don't you go meet them there, whereby it also reduces your operational cost? Because come next year now, we have to be filing operational cost and stuff. Otherwise, 20% of our income, the government would drink it without no physical impact on what they are doing with our money. So you must be able to build credibility and trust, which means show transparency in pricing, service, and delivery. Don't get to the place and you've told the person that the amount of this product is 5,000 naira. Then you get there after the job is done and you attend the person, sir, it's not 5,000, no, it's 9,000. By the time I'm doing this, you should have factored that from the very beginning. I, Darlington, have experienced it. You will get somebody to bring this very particular device for you. The person brings the device for you. You've already calculated in your mind that it's 100,000 that is the device. The person gets to you, tell you 120,000. You are and one thing I can tell you, Nigerian can psych you. Hey, Chama, now you're not supposed to argue now. You don't say you be your gun now. Chama, relax. Before you know it, they call you Chama. That 20,000 has left your account with the 100,000 of the product. Show transparency. Over deliver in your first 90 days. You're running a business. I can tell you, like we did that in the first quarter for us with with Afro1. Every time we go on sets to go do product and stuff, we make sure that we deliver, we move on with our lives, even though we're not getting return on that place, because we're trying to we are trying to build credibility and trust, build consistency. Nigerians will follow your track record, not your talk. Nigerians are like that. They will follow your track record. You will see, they will tell, I'm going to leave that in other people, they be scam. You think they don't follow? They follow your track record. Now, do you know the reason why they do that? Let me say this. Nigeria has a lot of trauma experience. I call it trauma. Nigeria has a traumatic experience. They have been bamboozled. They have been beaten. They have been bastardized, bad service, lack of government, scam. All of those things has literally shaped the average Nigerian mindset. That's why it is easy for Nigerians to switch into survivor. So if you want to get them to part away with that 10 naira, Chama, you must build trust. You must build trust. Number 6, which is very important also as we begin to look, as my time begins to wind down. Number 6 is the fact that invest in people. Invest in people. Invest in people. Invest. See, your idea or your pinpoint can go as far as the people you have around you. Can go as far. If you notice, I didn't use the word fast. Far. Because you can be fast to get to a short distance. But the kind of speed you will use to get to a short distance is not the kind of speed you will use to get to a long distance. They are all different speed. And you can't try that nonsense. And in getting there, you must have people who are around your space that can help you. So which means you must be fast in firing people and be very slow in hiring people. Be fast in firing. When you find out that the people you hire on your business, they're not doing the thing that you need to do, see, fast and fire, replace immediately. And hear me, employers, don't be emotional about the people that you have, because at the end of the day, you are spending money. The people are not meeting up to the things that you want them to do. That's why for me, I sympathize with people like my kind, whereby we are emotional beings. We try as much as possible to want to consider, like, oh no, but there is no this, there is no that, and all of those things. But there is a place where the Mother Teresa in me turned to Bill Gates. I like saying to some people, I said, I'm like a Mother Teresa living in a Bill Gates world. So sometimes I have to now think like, Omo, you can't be a Teresa. In some certain places, you can't be a Mother Teresa. You just have to be a Bill Gates. One of the places to be a Bill Gates and not a Mother Teresa is when it comes to hiring and firing. Be slow to hire. Do due diligence. Research. There are some certain stakeholders literally that I'm busy communicating with at the moment and stuff. As I'm saying this now, I believe that's where the team is even hearing this. I'm talking to them behind the scene and stuff over the next phase of Afro1, because we spent, to a large extent, December will be full 6 months that we've been in Nigeria. So we need to now begin to say, okay, it's high time for us to switch the pendulum. I am talking to them, and some of them are like, no, we want. I'm like, no, you can't. Calm down. It's not now. Because why? I'm slow to hire. But I bet you I'm very fast to let you go. And I'll let you go. We can still be friends, except if you choose to become emotional about your business. I mean, your personality has a problem. Just because I fire you today doesn't mean that I will employ you tomorrow again. No. I can fire you now and you go. When I now know that what I fired you for, the skills that you are good at, I can bring you back into the company. And guess what? Sometimes when you bring people you fired back into the company, they now perform well because they've tested the other side of who you are. So their loyalty to you is even much more higher than the ones who is on ground with you. I can tell I've done that 100 times in SA. Nigeria, I've not done that. Let me not lie. Nigeria, I've not done it. But you see that place I came from? I've done that. To the point I went to CCMA, I gave CCMA my constitutions and my employment contract. I said so that my staff doesn't go and report. CCMA is like what you call complaint commission for employees. So it's an ombudsman kind of service and stuff. I gave them I said, CCMA, this is me. I gave them, this is my constitution. This is how I hire, this is my process and stuff. So if somebody come and report me, Misa, this is what they said. Guess what? The day I did that, nobody report me again. Even some will tell you that's Darlington. Because that's how they call me. They call me Darlington. That's Darlington. They will even show you a copy of my stuff. That's Darlington's copy. Dexterity says, oh my God, relax. So which means in doing as much as you hire and fire, please also do me a favor. Train people in customer service and real-time problem solving. Don't just fire people that you have not trained. And I've seen that also in some of Nigerian business. I don't want to say Nigerian business or some. You are firing your staff on something you have not trained them with, or you are complaining about your staff on something that you have not trained them with. And in your mind, you are assuming that they should know it. For crying out loud, when did you sit with them? You are a wicked lecturer. It's a lecturer who comes to the class without lecturing the people, and yet you want to give you exam. You are demonic. We have issues with employees. We employers, let's also talk to ourselves. You don't just fire people simply because they didn't do what you think that they should do. You did not. You did not communicate. Even me, the employer, every time I go to my mission statement, I read. So that in case if I want to question Echo, or if I want to question Joshua, or if I want to question anybody that is around my ecosystem and stuff, it's because for me, I just want to understand what I'm doing, and so that I don't carry the Echo's problem and give it to Joshua, I carry Joshua's problem and give it to Echo. That will make me a witchcraft. If there's a statement like that. So please train people. And hear me, your training skill, at least, even though you are a startup, try as much as possible to make your training system to at least be 2 times a year. But if you have the budget, make it quarterly. Let your staff be able to look for a training program and come and meet you as the boss. Sir, concerning this thing and code, this is a training program. And the money is there, pay for it. Some of you will say, no, the reason why we don't want to train our staff is because when we train them, they leave. The reason why they leave is because literally you are not seeing the value. See, humans are loyal. The reason why they are not loyal most times is because we, the bosses, we have shown non-loyalty to even them and their services they are bringing. So which means you must create a performance-based incentive. Create a performance-based part 2 on this one in terms of positioning for success. But the final point for number 7 here on this, what you call point 2, is the fact that you have to scale with technology. Modern growth strategy, technology. See, in South Africa, we say technology has become Tokolosho. You have to be able to scale with technology, which means you must adopt automation as early as possible. Adopt automations, which means you must use data to track performance, users' behaviors, and sales trend. Build a model that can expand to Africa and the diaspora. Remember that we're talking currently now from idea to impact. If you notice, I keep saying that because I don't want you to get confused in the whole big grammar I'm saying. Idea to impact, not idea to survivor. In Nigerian business, we all need to leave survivor and get into impact. And let me say this as I begin to bring my thoughts to a close. To build an impact business, it's going to take a long time. You must be able to invest in a long-time plan, not the idea. The idea can be there. Many of us invest in idea. We don't invest in the long-term strategy of that ideas. I can tell you point blank, chances are before AfriOne will be seen globally. It may take me another 20 years. I have factored that into my plan. Before AfriOne will even cut across Nigeria of the things in the 36 states, I have to understand each of the 36 policies that is in Nigeria before even now thinking of the 54 policies. Right up here in my office and stuff, I have the African map that I look every time. I'm thinking, how will Libya policy look like? How will Egypt? How will Saudi Arabia? How would Tanzania? I look at it every time because it's a long-term strategy for me. Because why? AfriOne is all about impact. That's our company is known as Bridging the Divide. On the AfriOne show side, it's called Unite, Innovate, and Elevate. For us to be able to innovate is not about tech innovation. Ability for us to come up with innovative strategy to solve the Nigerian and African problems. That is not just about downloading apps or building an app. No. So our innovation is beyond tech. Somebody was asking me that. I say innovation is not just tech for me. We look at the banditry that is happening in Nigeria. The other day, I said my topic on Wednesday on the Armed Forces Radio was with the riches that is available in the northern side of Nigeria. How come that same region literally has the highest level of banditry? The northern literally get the highest stake when it comes to federal government allocation, but yet they have the highest stake of banditry. That is not done by app. It's done by sitting down to create innovative solution. Sometimes even the richest northern people and the elite, their businesses headquarters is not in the north. Go and check. These are the things that when I sit down and I look at from the Abuja where I am, and I'm looking at the north, the south, the east, and the west. Somebody was saying to me, "It's like, where do you sleep to come up with all these questions?" I said, because every day I wake up like this, I think of Nigeria. I think of Africa. I go through the pain. And so by the time I bring my topic, it's going to be based on the pain that I'm going through. And because it is relatable to me, and I've noticed that everybody is complaining about that, I turn it to a topic. Let's talk. As I'm sitting here currently, after I finish the show, I wrote down everything that all the callers called as to what I want to do. One of them is to sit down and have a consultative forum with the elite emirs in the northern place. Will I be able to do it this month? No. Next month? No. Was it be going to first quarter? Chances, yes. Because I need to first of all think, the place you are going is a bandit. Before they shoot you. And I know that Echo just has his passport. He's planning to go to Rwanda, Tanzania. Baba, don't go and kill yourself. But guess what? I've made peace. Because until we stop that madness there, it's affecting Nigeria. Check all the killing that is happening. The people that are producing those killers, they are coming from not. Think you want to know not? You can't. Influence belongs to them. There's an ideology that they have formed coming from your likes of Usman Damfodio, who believes that as long as you are not a Fulani, as long as you're not a Muslim, you are a prototype that they can kill, so that when you go to heaven, even though they kill you, you sleep with 5 virgins. Chances are Usman Damfodio, he now knows where he is, that there is no 5 virgin there. I wish he can send a telegram back on earth to make them understand that ideology is nonsense. And you have your likes of Sherik Gumi, that we should negotiate with what he called. You even have the president, I'm sorry, who is bringing an extremist of a Muslim to come and talk to us, who believes that Christians should not even be allowed. I'm saying all of this because these are things that Africans stand for us to innovate together. And even the way the Christians, we sit back and expect the Muslims to take us serious. When all the haters that are sitting there are all Muslims. Really? I won't say this and I'm going to say it again full time. Maybe this will cause me problem and it's okay. That's going to be my final shot. If all of us as Christians are not going to wake up and begin to innovate in the Nehemiah strategy, what does that mean? Nehemiah chapter 4, go and read it from 1 to the ending. It is high time to hold your brick to build the wall. And it's also not time for you to hold your guns. I say this without no apology to anybody, including the federal government. No apology. We're tired. I watched a video, I don't know if it's Ilorin or KB, where these very particular guys went into a church. The one that pained me is the old woman who was literally walking slowly. And these guys entered, shoot 3 people according to report, others severely injured, pack away their stuff, and with the church people, no, let's leave the batteries of the Lord. Nonsense. That's why for me, I'm tired with religion. I'm tired. That is religion, that's not Christianity. Because the mercies of God literally that delivered the children of Israel from Egypt was that same mercy that buried the children of Egypt in the Red Sea, and yet it's still called mercy. Is it not your God that says it's a consuming fire? So how come we are only on the grace side of the mercy of God, but we're not looking at the consuming fire side of the mercy of God? It is only in Nigeria that terrorists and bandits will be given amnesty and be adapted into the Nigerian army of things. And you wonder how the terrorists, they get intels, because why? Ideology has been formed. Even though you take them from banditry and bring them to Nigerian army or Nigerian force, the ideology of being in that space, they can use that to also sponsor and feed their guys. Hear me. No Boko Haram and bandits should be allowed to work in the force. None whatsoever. If they want to be rehabilitated, let them be rehabilitated and go do business. Don't bring them into military space. And you wonder why they are causing mayhems? No, man. Let's call a spade a spade. Say enough is enough. This is me calling all GOs as Christians. Enough of... On Sunday, we're all going together in church again. We don't know what this jihadist kind of group of people they are planning on Sunday to come and do. Because they have an ideology that when you kill a Christian, they get 5 virgins when they die. How many of us are we going to kill for them to be getting 5 virgins? You and I know that's stupid. But it's part of the ideology. What's our ideology? We are all Messiah. Me, I'm not a Messiah. Let me say this. Messiah has ended with Jesus Christ. It ended. Me, I'm not a Messiah. You come, I kill you back. God help you. If I have the gun, I shoot you first before you shoot me. That's the Christianity that I know. I say all of this because I want you to understand that in the Nigerian market, you have to be resilient and dog-headed. Nobody is going to make it happen for you. You have to make it happen by yourself and be resilient enough to say, if I have to fail, let me fail forward and let me not fail and retract my step back. With all this being said, I'm going to be doing the part 2 next week. I think that's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the part 2 next week, which is still going to be from idea to impact, but the positioning for success, how Nigeria should prepare. That's the way Nigeria must prepare. And I am doing that currently. And part of the method is what I'm doing currently now. This very particular juncture, I want to thank every one of you. And also to my wonderful Echo, I've used his name all the time, for standing and making sure. By the time I came to the office, literally all of this has been set up. And I have dragged him because he would have finished this literally by 12 o'clock, but it's still turned it to 12:30. So I apologize first and foremost for coming late, but to all of you, Echo, Nadi, Madam Charlotte, and all of you, please, I just want to say thank you for making this a reality for me. It's a wrap on this very particular segment. I will see you all next week, Friday, 11 o'clock. That's the time, 11 o'clock. And if I'm late, please pardon me, 11:15. If the internet is fine. With all my gra-gra that I've said, let me say this. I still love you, my Nigerians. But we can't be expecting the West to come and solve our problem for us. It can work. It can work. If Donald Trump did not shout, will some of these Boko Haram tents be destroyed? That's a question that you and I. Somebody was even saying to me, I don't want to mention the name of the person for security reasons. He said, no, they discovered that some of these tents that they had destroyed was old videos that they are bringing out. I don't give up finally again. It's old videos. Yes, you know, it's old pictures and videos. Yeah. Make peace. So the question is, what are they really doing? It's your food for thought. I remain your host, the Afropolitan Apostle. I'll see you on Friday next week by 11, and I'll see you on Wednesday on the Armed Forces Radio by 7 p.m. Nigerian time. If you miss any of our show, you can catch it all on YouTube. Please go to YouTube. And I think I want to encourage, sorry, Eko, for taking your time again. Go to YouTube. I want to appeal to you. Go there, subscribe. And if you subscribe, I also want to appeal to you to join our family. Your support to this very particular work will help us. There's a lot of things we want to do. And let me even look at the camera and talk to you. We have a lot of work we want to do. There's a lot of travelings. I'm happy that my team, we're all preparing ourselves. There's a lot of travelings. I'm looking forward for Rwanda, Kenya. I'm speaking to a friend of mine in Namibia. I just got a call link currently now in Algeria. We're talking about the African side of things. But we can only be able to do that if you are going to come on board to support us. We need your donation. We need your contribution. If you are hearing me currently and you want to support our foundation, everyone has a foundation. We also have an investment portfolio and also a property side. But if you want to support our foundation, please, I want to encourage you. You can call in the number that is available on the screen right now, so that we can talk. But with that being said, you can actually go on YouTube and just look at the join button. We have different cadres. We have one whereby we just want to say thank you, but we have different cadres of business you can do with us on the YouTube side. By clicking the join, you will see different package that you can literally support us. I, as the Afropolitan Apostle, I am standing here humbly saying it is high time for you to come on board, for you to put your hand on the table to support us, because the Africa office, I promise you, myself and Echo and the team, we can't do it alone. And so I'm calling on you. Join the family. You may not be at the forefront like I am, but your resources can literally help us. Your connections can help us. Your recommendation can help us. Your influence, like God says to Jesus, hear ye him. Your influence of hear ye him, hear the everyone, can literally also help us. So please call the number that is currently available on the screen, and let's talk about collaborations and partnership, support and donation to the work we are trying to do in Nigeria. It is huge.
And I can tell you point blank, the biggest desire for me is to build an Afri-One innovation hub, not just to sit and begin to write thesis, but practical hub where Nigerian and African can start producing his own telephone, produce his own, what you call, airspace of things as big as that, literally, is what I'm calling for. With that being said, I love you, my family. I'll see you on the subsequent production. Bye for now, and God bless you.
The Afri-One Show, voice of a new tribe, where the Afropolitan spirit rises as we come together to rebuild Africa, Nigeria, and its marketplace, empowering its people and the diaspora with everything they need. Together, we form a new tribe, creating opportunity and access to markets, driving reinvestments, fostering collaboration, and working to elevate and one another with proven solutions. A true revival in Africa is possible, despite the challenges, though through intentional development that drives innovation, delivers mutual benefits, and inspires a culture of ownership for Africa and Africans. The time is now to unite, innovate, elevate with the Afropolitan Apostle, Darlington Steve, on the Afri-One Show, voice of the new tribe.